Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Thanks for joining this live stream. Today, we'll be discussing on how we can save costs using AWS EFS. So basically, what is AWS EFS? Well, EFS is Elastic File System. It's a network-based file system. So there is, you can attach it with multiple EC2 instances, and the data can be shared. So basically, if you are using EBS, Elastic Block Storage, with EC2 instance, then if there are multiple EC2 instances and multiple availability zones, then you may have to replicate the data in order to make it make it sync across multiple EC2 instances, or else you may have to use S3. But S3 is an object based storage, so it's better. It is more recommended for to use EFS in case you have multiple EC2 instances sharing the same data. So this is a simple architecture we are going to replicate. We are going to mimic on our console, in our AWS infrastructure, and basically we are going to create two EC2 instances, okay, which is going to have one root volume and one data volume for each EC2 instance. And then after that, we are going to store some test data into the data volume, and later on we'll integrate it with EFS probably. We'll move that data to EFS, and later on we'll delete the extra EBS volumes. And I will also show you what is the cost saving we are going to make after implementing this architecture. So let's begin. I'll start with my management console, wherein we are going to create two EC2 instances first. Okay, so I'm going to create it in the Mumbai region, Asia Pacific region probably. And okay, let's click on launch instances, select the Linux 2 EMI and T2 micro. Okay. Click on next. Okay, we are going to keep it as one instance, and for subnet we are going to select AP South 1A. Okay, and yeah, other things seems to be fine. We'll leave it as default. Click on next to add storage. As you can see over here, right, this is the root volume, okay, which is going to store the operating system, and we'll keep it as a default HGP, and we don't need any encryption for the purpose of demo, so we'll leave it as default. We'll add one more EBS volume. Okay, let's keep it 10 gigabytes, and we don't want to delete on termination, so we'll leave as it is. Okay, you also see this shared file system over here, right? So in case you have a shared file system, then you can use it over here, otherwise it's okay. Okay, I'll click on next. We already added the 10 gigabyte volume. Click on next to add tags. I'll add a tag as instance 1. Okay, let's keep it as a demo instance 1. Okay, click on next for configuration of security group. I have already created a security group, but let me create a new one. Okay. So we'll keep SSH over here. Okay, let's keep it as a default for now. Okay. Next, click review and launch. Okay, okay, it looks good. This is a review screen. Click on launch, acknowledge, and launch instances. Okay, click on view instances, and let's edit the name, instance 1. Okay, and let's create similar instance in another availability zone. Okay, launch more like this. Okay, sometimes it stucks on the screen. Let me just check this security group. Okay, let me just cancel and create a new one. First, let me check the security group ID. Okay, just copy this. Launch new instance. Okay, keep it as T2 micro. For subnet, we are gonna create in AP South 1B. Okay, click on add storage and one more EBS volume for this instance, 10 gigabyte. Okay, next add tags. Okay, we are gonna keep the security group ID as same, so it is 187. Let's keep the same security group for both the instances. Click on review and launch, and it looks good. Okay, let's name it as instance 2. Okay, until this instances gets into past state, in running state. Okay, let's create an EFS drive. So instance 2 is still showing as pending. It's gonna take a while to change the instance state into running. So let's go back to EFS. Okay, click on create file system, and we are gonna name it as a demo file system. Okay, keep it as a default. Let's keep all these settings as default and click on create. Okay, it's gonna take a little bit of time, and yeah, see, it's available. Alright, so our EFS is created now. Now let's log into any one of the instance which is in the running state. Okay, which is instance 1. As we can see, instance 1 is already in the running state and all the status check is passed. So click on connect. Okay, I'll use EC2 instance connect over here. Okay, we are logged into the EC2 instance 1 for now, and lsblk. So lsblk it will list all the EBS drives that are linked with your EC2 instance. We can see this xvdb, right, which is 10 gigabyte of volume, which we created and linked with, attached with the EC2 instance. So let's just mount this disk on our EC2, and let's add some test data to it. Okay, so for basically, let's create a file system first. Okay, so xvdb. Don't forget to add sudo command, otherwise you're gonna get permission error. Okay, so this the result says that the file system has been successfully created. Now let's mount it to one of the folders. So make dir3 data. Okay, let's create /data. Okay, see, I forgot to add a sudo. Okay, now let's mount it over here. So let's mount the data. Okay, maybe I'll have to type the command, it seems. Not sure why it's not allowing to copy, but okay, let's type it. Sudo mount slash dev slash xvdb2 slash data. So what this command means is that, mount my EBS volume, okay, to the data folder. Okay, so this has successfully mounted the EBS drive to our EC2 instance. Now let's create some test data. Okay, all right, I'll use vi. So sudo vi instance one data.txt. all right, so and this is data from instance 1. Okay, escape, exit. Okay, so let's verify if we have correctly written the data. Cat txt, and as you can see, we have received this message. That means that our data is correctly written, and it's written correctly to the EBS drive, which is the 10 gigabyte data drive that we added. Okay. Now going back to the instances, let's do the same thing for instance 2. I'll connect. Okay, first let's check if it is available, and in the ready state, instance 2 is now available. Click on connect and EC2 user lsplk. So we have this mounted. Let's make a file system. Okay, we have successfully created the file system. Now time to make directory for data. Sudo. Okay, now time to mount this folder. Mount slash dev slash xvdb2 slash data. Oops. Sudo. This is successfully mounted the data folder on EC2 instance 2. So let's go back to data and sudo vi. Let's keep the same name. Let's check the name of the first instance, to data.txt. Okay, to data.txt. So let's create it. This is test data from instance 2. Okay, and we'll exit. Same thing, cat start.txt. Okay, so so far we have created two EC2 instances, attached one EBS volume, which is data volume. EC2 instance is already having the root volume. We have attached one more EBS volume for storing the data. We have mounted that new EBS volume, which is a 10 gigabyte EC2 volume, EBS volume to EC2 from, and we have created some test data in both the instances. Okay, now the next thing you got to do is we'll try mounting the EFS. Okay, so meanwhile, while the instances were booting up, we created our EFS file system. Okay, so we call it as a demo file system now. Click on to it, and you see this attach option. Okay, click on this attach button. You can copy this command and let's paste it to the instance 1. Okay, this is our instance 1. See over here, instance 1. Okay, so we'll run this. Let's interchange the tabs. Okay, now I will try to mount to slash data. No, let me just do one thing. Let me just create a new folder. Okay, EBS. I will call it as an EBS. Okay, in the root. Okay, now let's try running this command. Okay, you see it says mount point does not exist. Okay, so why this error is coming? No, because we have not installed the mount helper. See, when you click on this attach button, okay, over here, when you click on this attach button, you see it gives you two options. Okay? One is mount via DNS and mount via IP. So this, when you click on this mount via DNS, it gives you this option, right, which is using EFS mount helper. So what is mount helper? Well, mount helper is a utility, okay, which if you use that utility, you will get a performance boost probably. I've seen performance gets increased when you are using mount helper. So let's do one thing. Let's first install the mount helper. So if you get this error, this means that the mount helper is not installed or it's not correctly installed. So this is the command to install the mount helper. Okay. Not sure why the copy paste is not working, but let me just give it a try again. Okay, it looks like it wants me to type. So sudo yum install, okay, and -y Amazon EFS utils. Okay, Amazon EFS utils. Okay, so it will install this mount helper. Okay, now let's try to mount our folder. You see the error is gone. Okay, oh, sorry, the error is still there. Okay, it means that /EFS. 1 second, let me check. Okay, EFS. Okay, now let's try to mount it. Meanwhile, it is mounting. Usually it doesn't take this much of time, but if there is something wrong, if it is not able to connect, then it's gonna give you a connection timeout error after some time. So meanwhile, let's wait and let's do the same process on the instance too. Okay, let's install the mount helper there and proceed. So I'll install this mount helper. I forgot, it is not allowing me to copy paste. Yum install and -y Amazon EFS utils. Okay, it's successfully installed. Now let's try to mount, fire the same command over there. Okay, let's see this. Okay, make directory EFS. Okay, I'll fire the same command now. So it is taking a bit longer, right? So this means that there is something wrong with this, and probably the command is firing up, but it is not able to establish the connection. So till it times out, let's look at our security groups and see what is wrong over there. Okay, so move over here, instance 1 and security group. Okay, so as you can see, we are having only one inbound rule which allows port range 22 for SSH. So this is not right. We need to enable NFS port. Okay, so 2049 is the port range, and we'll give the security group for this, right, 187. Copy the link text. It's not allowing me to copy. Let me do this. Okay, I will take it 187. So let's keep this security group as a target. Okay, so let's click on save rules. Let's give it a try again. Okay, you see this system call failed. I mean, we were updating the security group, so it got up this error probably. So again, let's give it a try. Still, it is not able to connect, and it is taking a bit of time. Let me give it a try to here as well. Okay, it is still taking some time, so this means something is wrong again. But looking at our security groups, you can say that now we have opened up the port. So basically our EC2 instance should be connecting probably to the EFS, but this is not right. Let's look at the EFS. Okay, close, and I'll go to the network tab. Okay, let me just show you from the beginning. So if you log into this console and file systems, you already created a file system. Click on the name, click on the network tab, and you can see all the mount target state is available. So this looks good. Let's wait for a while and see if we get some error over here. But anyone on chat can tell me what exactly is wrong with the setup. Look, we have already configured our security groups, right? So they look to me correct. But what else do you think could be wrong? Why are we still getting, why it is still going into the infinite loop? It is not showing up anything. What could be the reason? Can anyone tell me the chat window? Okay, I'll give you a hint probably. It is something related to the security group probably, but not with the instance. Okay, someone is telling me it's wrong with the VPC. Oh, no, but that is not right. Yes, it is definitely wrong with the security groups, but EC2 instance security groups we already configured and enabled the NFS port. So what else? What else do you think? What else do you think? In VPC, you will see the same security groups over here. So you see. Okay, somebody is telling me network ACL. No, network ACL is not wrong. We have correctly configured. And network ACL is linked with the subnet level, right? It's not with the instance level. And as you can see, all the traffic we are allowing, and look at the outbound rule, it is allowed. So any more hints? What could be wrong? We can wait for a while. Okay, let me just show you what exactly is wrong over here. So we are into the network tab now. Okay, click on manage. You will see some of the security groups right over here. Okay, what we need to do over here is we need to add the security group for our instance, which is 87, right? 87, this one. Okay, got to add this security group. So what this means is, you need to enable this port for NFS both the sides, because if EC2, like EC2, okay, EC2 is not allowing you to connect to the EFS, that means that there is something wrong with the security group of your EC2 and with the EFS security. So you need to configure the security group of EC2 instance over here. Okay, you need to select that security group and then click on save. Alright, now let's try to attach, mount EFS. You see, we got a success finally. Again, let's do it in the other instance. See, it was just a millisecond time it took to mount this EFS volume. Okay, let's look at the EFS. Okay, let's first move the data, okay, from our EBS to EFS. So I'll do it first with the instance 1. Okay, see over instance 1. So star.txt/EFS. Okay, try with sudo. Alright, we have successfully moved the file in our shared drive. Okay, now let's look at it from the instance 2. Okay, we are in the instance 2 now, and you see we got the file instance 1 data. So EFS is successfully configured, and we can see now that the data is, both the instances we are able to see the data. Let's do a cat. Okay, so this is the data from the instance 1. Okay, now let's move our test data from the instance 2 to the EFS. Okay, move star.txt/EFS. Okay, so look at this. Let's look at the instance 2 data from instance 1 now. Okay, get instance 2 data.txt. You see, we got this output. So that means that our shared drive is correctly configured. Now it's time to remove the unused EBS data volumes. So we are going to save a lot of money after doing this. Going back to the EC2 console. Okay, let's check the volumes. Okay, these two volumes we created as a data volume. Okay, the other two are the root volumes. So let's now delete the data volumes, force detach and detach. Alright, let's look at this data. See, we are not able to detach it at the moment because they are still mounted in the data folder. Okay, but let's see if we can force detach it probably. Let's try to give it a try again. Okay, it's now in the available state. Okay, now we can delete both the volumes. Make sure you select only the data volumes, okay, not the root one, otherwise you need to attach it afterwards. Okay, click on delete volume and confirm and delete. Okay, it has successfully deleted the data volumes. Now let's look at our data. Yep, it's still there. It's still intact in the EFS. And now our application can use this data by connecting to the EFS file system. Okay, so that's all for the demo for the EFS. Now let's look at the cost savings we have done with this architecture. So okay, I'll open the calculator.aws, create a new estimate, and first let's see what cost we were incurring using EBS. So basically I am having two volumes, okay, and my average duration of instance is 730 hours per month, and I'm gonna use general purpose GP2 for storage, okay, and the amount storage per volume I'm going to use 10 GB. Okay, snapshots I took 3 times daily, and the amount of data gets changed, most of the times it gets changed up to 10 GB, not 10 GB per snapshot, but 6 GB per snapshot it usually gets changed. Okay, and I don't need I don't use this fast snapshot restore, so we can leave it. Okay, so basically here you can see we are spending 30 USD, okay, when using EBS per month. Now let's do the calculation for the EFS. Okay, moving back again, we'll create a new estimate. Click on create estimate, and let's use EFS. Okay, we are using it in Mumbai, Asia Pacific, standard storage, and our desired capacity is, one second, let me just check the, okay, we are using two volumes, yeah, okay, we are using 20 GB per month, okay, and no, now we are using only 10 GB, okay, and percentage of data that is frequently accessed. So basically my 90% of data is frequently accessed, okay, infrequently is like 1 GB, okay, and I'm not using provision throughput. So see, we are incurring this $3 when using EFS, and here we are getting 30 USD. So while using EBS we are incurring a cost of 30 GB, 30 USD, and while using EFS we are getting 3. So that's like a huge difference. So yep, that's it for the demo, and that's how you can get cost savings while using EFS. So thanks for attending this live session. I think we are on top of 30 minutes more. If you have any questions, you can put down in the chat window, and I will be happy to reply. Thanks for watching. Bye.